Hi everybody, I'm Untitled, and today's video is on Conan Exiles. We're back in the Exiled Lands and we are having a look at this. This is the Nemedian Fortress. I have recreated almost exactly as you will see it in the trailer, the marketing material for the People of the Dragon by Funcom. In that video, they showed you this fortress. You saw glimpses of it and you saw a battle happening outside it. It looked like there were invaders attacking. And I used that video. It's about 3 minutes long, along with 3 screenshots. If you were to go to the website, the Conan Exiles website, and have a look at the People of the Dragon downloadable content, you'll see there's a number of photographs there. And the first 3, which is a shot from the outside, a shot from the front, and a shot that's actually inside but it's looking up slightly, gave me quite a lot of insight, that particular shot. That's all I used, the video and those 3 photographs, to try to recreate as much as I can. I was surprised that nobody else has done this yet that I know of. And the purpose of this video, it's not going to be a time lapse to show you how I built it. This video is going to be a tour. So if you wanted to create this yourself, hopefully you can look over this video and find the specific bit that you want, and you can see it and recreate it. Now, it's not perfect. It is not exactly the same as what you will see in the video. It's quite hard to align it perfectly. I think, if I do say so myself, I've done a pretty good job of lining it up, but I do know there are a few sections that aren't perfect. And I also know there are a few sections where you just never see that particular part of the fortress in the video or in the photographs. So I've either had to make it up or I've had to take an artist's license and do something similar. This is the location for our build. If we have a look at the map, you will see we are here just north of the wall at the top of the square G8. That's where I am, but the majority of the build is actually just going to be in G9 here, just to the east of this lake with the aqueduct or viaduct, whatever you want to call it, running through the middle. This here, you'll see, lines up almost perfectly with the picture. The castle's entrance is down on the bottom left, and it stretches back all the way over to that hill in the background. And the rock in the foreground here, the wall is going to crest that wall at the front. So I'm going to start with the outside wall from the front gate, and if we were to pan to the right, this area is very visible in the first photograph, so I'm fairly confident this is accurate. And as I pan around, I'm going to point out the very first block that I laid, because in getting the alignment perfect, I had to ensure that the first block I laid was as perfect could be, because the wall is continuous, and as it goes up the hill in the background to the keep, if the first block isn't lined perfectly, then that keep is not going to be in the right place. And I know that my keep is ever so slightly not in the right place. If I look at all the pictures, I can see it's not, but it's close enough that I'm happy. Now, the first block that I laid was this one right here. I aligned this foundation stone and checked it on the picture to see if I was happy with where it was, the height, the orientation, and then from there I built these blocks over this rock to this side with these blocks here, so these foundation stones. And with that arch, as long as I was absolutely happy that that arch looked as close as I could get it to photograph number 1, published by Funcom, I went from there. So if you're doing this yourself, do those blocks first and make sure you're happy with them before proceeding. I had like 3 attempts before I was happy. Also, I'll point out that this back corner of the keep here, you can't see this, at all in the photograph. The last tower you can see is this one, and the gap here I've made 3 blocks wide. It's difficult to see in the photograph whether it is 3 blocks or if it's just one. The shot you get is like this angle, like this, so it looks like there's only 1 block there. But after studying it and positioning the camera as I have just done, I'm pretty certain that there's maybe 2 or 3 blocks there. Plus all the other gaps between the towers tend to be 3, on occasion 4. But this back corner, you couldn't see it at all. So I have just created this. I think it's in theme. I don't know if it's right. And then the back wall runs all the way this way. Make sure I can show you the tops of the towers. And when it goes up the rock at the back, again, I know for a fact that this is not perfect. The wall in Funcom's version is ever so slightly to the right of this wall. So as it goes up the rocks, the towers are in a slightly different place or of a slightly different height. So it's not perfect, but I think what I have done is in theme, and I'm happy with it. And it extends all the way up to the castle at the top here. There is a gap here where the foundation tiles don't line up. That's one of the problems you get when you try to do a closed circle and you use squares and triangles. It's nearly impossible. I mean, it is possible if you do your planning, but if you want to go free flow like this wall, it's difficult to line up. And if you look really closely at the picture provided by Funcom, which this image here that I'm showing you is a zoomed in screenshot of the video, I think there is a gap there. So that is where they've put their gap. It's also where I have put my gap. If we head back to the front gate, the wall going the other way looks like this. Now, I'm fairly confident again that the first half of this wall, all the way to that round tower there on the left-hand side of the screen right now, I'm confident that this is right because in the video, when they're fighting on the fields, you get a long shot of the fortress, and you can see this entire wall up to that round tower on the far right there. After the round tower, I've had to guess a lot of this. I know there are 2 square towers, and I know there is another round tower. You can see that in the distance. So I've had to make up the rest. I know that this section of the wall here is 1 foundation too high, and the reason for that is the rock that sits underneath it. If I was to take those foundation block down 1, it wouldn't fit. And I'm pretty sure by studying this wall from the inside, there's a snippet in the video where 2 horses walk past a well. I pause it right there, and you can see the height of the wall from the inside. So I'm pretty sure that this is wrong, but there's not a lot I can do with the rock in that position. I think just I'm ever so slightly out in the orientation, so I'm in a very, very slightly different position from the original, but I'm still happy with it. And the wall continues this way. Towers pretty much the same all the time, same style. Trees getting in my way. And then finally this back bit where it then proceeds up to the keep. Again, ever so slightly different to the original, but I've tried to keep it in theming as much as possible. There's a couple of tall towers on this section of the wall instead of lots of little towers running up it like the back wall was. Let's look at the keep on the top of the hill. Now this is completely inaccessible. There's no way to get up here. It's only there for looks, and it does look kind of striking sitting on the top of the hill. It's quite simple. It's got a number of towers, although 2 of them here are not connected, but from a distance that's difficult to tell that they're not connected. And you cannot get in. There is space inside, but there's no way in there. There's no doors. There's no way up at all. We are going to make some changes because we use this server, we play on this server, and we're going to use this fortress. We're actually going to live in it and put all our workstations in it. So you getting up here could be rather cool. And what we plan to do is make this tower here slightly taller. And we are going to put a ladder inside this tower because there is a door at the bottom. And if we put a ladder inside this tower, we should be able to climb up. Following this tower down, we've got these stairs here. Sorry, I'll try and get the body out of shot. Not much going on here, just a small covering here with a flag. And then stairs that lead over into this tower. And it's at this point that I think I'm going to put another ladder inside this tower and put a door here at the bottom. So from this platform, I'll just zoom out. So this platform here on the inside with stairs, we can get from the ground floor up the stairs, go into that tower, up a ladder, come out onto this platform, go into the final tower and get into the keep. But I wanted to make this video first before I make those adjustments. Just, you know, so if you wanted to recreate something, you can, and you can make your own adjustments in any way that you feel you want to. Now move to the inside wall, and some of this was difficult for me to reproduce because you just didn't get the angles to see what was going on in the video or images. Looking here to the right, the best angle I had was a screenshot like this. So right at the very beginning, seconds into the video, as it pans towards the central keep, you can see off to the right, running down the inside of the right wall. And that's the best shot that I had. I could tell by the rest of the wall that it was covered. So I've got these awnings here on the inside, always with pillars to help with support and hold them up. We've got this stairwell leading into the round tower. And as I said before, we want to actually use this. So I've made allowances for extra doors into the towers, and most of the towers have at least 2 floors in them so that we can use the space inside for workstations or whatever we see fit. This tower here the roof is completely inaccessible. Oh look, they're at it again. This wolf and this deer have been fighting constantly during this build. Whenever I move over near them, I hear them fighting, and the wolf always wins. There we go. It's won again. Perfectly timed. Back to the tower, more importantly. So you can't get to the roof of this tower without climbing the wall or flying. We might change this. I was thinking of maybe putting a hatch in with a ladder, although I suspect placing a hatch will reduce the support of this roof. So if I place a hatch, I might need to rethink the roof. Again, I didn't want to make any structural changes before I made this video. This wall is just a straight run with lots of awnings on it. And then this, I don't know what to call this. It's not a tower. It's like a larger section of the wall with 4 sections on top of it. There is access to this one. I did put a hatchway with a ladder inside there that goes down. And then that moves upward to this area that covers the rock. There are 4 small towers on there and a large central area. Again, all of this is inaccessible. I may put in a way to get up here, but for now, it is what it is. Moving forwards towards the back section of the wall, which was very difficult to see, there was one long shot where I could see these stairs here, and there was another shot from way back over here that looks something like this, where I got a glimpse of those steps there. But here it is for you now. Good glance at it. So if you wanted to recreate it, it shouldn't be too difficult. Those awnings are just 2 deep, as in 2 squares deep, with the stairs leading up and support from pillars. So still inside the wall here on the Other side, so this is the left as you come through the front door. In fact, I'll pan around here so you can see where the front door is. There's the front door. This sloped area, I got a small glimpse of what this would look like here, and in one particular angle on the video. Wasn't entirely sure if the ramp was made of stone, like it is just outside the front door. If you wanted to, you could make that out of stable, so it's made of wood rather than stone, which I think might look nicer. But as this entire build is made in the Nemedian style, I left it as brick. This inner section here is all awnings. There are a few sections where it doesn't quite meet, like here. So if I was to take out these squares and put triangles, it still wouldn't work. So they just kind of cross over like that. There's a few fences that you can't place, but you cannot fall down that hole. We've tried running over it. You can't fall down that hole. There's a few places of the wall that are inaccessible, as in you can't run all the way down the wall. It stops. So like here is one of them. If you were to come in here, there is just a wall here. It stops. I mean, you can climb the wall, but that's not ideal. So outside there are various staircases that give access to the various parts of the wall. And that runs all the way down. This here is a blacksmith. Or at least I think it's a blacksmith, because it's got a forge outside of it, and the roof is used as an extension of the wall walk. The blacksmith itself was quite difficult for me to build because it involved stacking fence foundations. So these squares are fence foundations. And I will tack on to the end of the video a description of how I did this, because I had to work it out for myself and it really wasn't straightforward. So at the end of this video, I will tack on instructions on how to stack fence foundations like that. There we go, just making sure I give you a good view of all of it. There's this small building here with the archery target outside and the fermenting barrel. Again, fence foundations there. They don't go all the way down to the ground. They're perched on top of foundations. But it's not a very deep building. Okay, so now let's look at the central keep. Now this is the first shot that you get of it in the video. It took me a while to work out what was going on, especially with these side towers and with what I like to call wizard windows, which are these ones sticking out here. And it does go all the way down, and there are entrance doors at the bottom of each tower. Each of the towers I have divided into 3 floors so we can actually use them, but you could do whatever you want. The most important thing was the layout, and I'm going to do this from above. So this bit in the middle here is what I call the guard room. It is directly above the tower, and it is just a 3x3 9 square with the gong at the back, a small tower in the middle with the awnings around the outside, and then the wall walk is made of triangles, so they come off at an angle there that runs straight, with this tower sticking off of it. And then there's a slightly larger tower here with wizard windows, and then it kinks ever so slightly to this here, which is not a round tower. It's probably the only place where we have this style of tower with a wizard window. Again, a place where I can show you all to the ground, so you can see it's got doors at the bottom. All of the outside of the wall is fairly unadorned. It's mostly walls. It's only when you get up high that you get any arrow slits or windows. Obviously that's in keep with a castle design. You wouldn't want anything down low. And then round the back, we've got 2 more circular towers. This one is in the center of the tower and is ever so slightly different. Again, this is inaccessible at the moment. Now, the bit that I found extremely difficult was the other side. Now, it's not symmetrical. At first, I thought the tower, the central keep was symmetrical, but it isn't. And there's a section on the video, which I shall replay, it does this. It starts in this little trench here, slightly higher. So it starts here, and it pans along this way, and then it turns around to the left and stops about here. But it was that showed me that this here is a right angle. It's 90 degrees rather than this side, which is clearly not. So this side is not the same. It's not symmetrical. And these rounder towers here are definitely not the same as the other side. And it took me a while to get them in the right place. I mean, I know they're not in the right place. This one in particular, I believe this is one triangle square too close to this building, which might explain why these roofs here kind of overlap. I think that these triangle tiles here, there's one too many, and it should maybe have one more here. But by the time I'd worked that out, I really didn't want to destroy the whole thing and move it one triangle further out. So that's how I've got it. You can do what you wish. Let me show you the outside wall, which is from here. I'm going to have to keep looking up and down because I can't fit it all in one shot. But if you wanted to recreate the outside, that is what it looks like. We'll just fly all the way around. It gets quite tight here. As you can see, it almost touches the wall. And I'm not entirely sure if that is correct. I couldn't really find any material that let me know. But it doesn't touch, and you can run through here if you're on foot. So it's not actually touching. So that's how I've got it at the moment. If you're able to make any few adjustments to make that a bit wider, feel free. But it works just fine for me at the moment. Now, the next thing to look at is this central area. Quite an elaborate, nice looking central tower. At the moment, it is completely hollow. I have not put anything on the inside. It's difficult to tell what might have been in there. There is a single shot at some point in the video where you see what looks like a bedroom, and it's quite cramped. There's low ceilings with vaults. I believe that might have been inside this tower. It may even have been at the top of this tower. So I haven't done it yet, but I think I'm going to recreate that bedroom in here. At the moment, I've simply got pillars running straight up the middle to give support to the roof. But looking at that video, if it was done inside this building, then instead of having pillars here, you would have had walls. So you have a one square wall running all the way up. And if that bedroom was in here, it may have been near the top here with vaulted ceiling. And at one point you can see that video kind of panning backwards. I think that was in here. At least that's where I'm going to put it. And I may cut this tower up into several floors. It's going to have to be ladders, unfortunately, to move up through them. I don't like ladders as much as stairs. They're a bit cumbersome. But in such a cramped space, I think it will have to be ladders. Under the guard tower, I put some ladders here. They're not ideal, but there was no obvious way to traverse from the king's throne room to the roof, unless you did it inside one of the towers, which is also an option. But let's go and have a look at the throne room now. From the front gate, we come in and we see the main keep. The main keep opens into a shot that is very clear in the video. I have tried to reproduce this as well as I can. The best shot we get in the video is like from this angle with the door closed. So you can just see on the bottom left there's some kind of wall. Not entirely sure what it is, but I've put a couple of fences there just to separate out the the king's part of the room to the guards part of the room, and this is where I've put those not stairs, but a ladder leading up to what would be the roof and the guard room. There's an identical one on the other side. You could also have done something within one of the towers, but this is the throne room, and I've tried to recreate it as best I can. There was quite a lot of video footage of this particular room. There's a shot on the table where you get to see all these miniatures and the books. I'm pretty sure that shot is mirrored. So although I've put the figures here on the right hand side and the books on the left, I think the video is mirrored, so they should be the other way around. And the reason I think it's mirrored is because the way the person sits in the seat. If I had a volunteer to come and sit in the seat, I could show you what I mean, but also looking at the figures. So the two men in particular, the little miniature figures there, their poses are the mirror image of the poses in the video. So that's why I believe that this is actually flipped around the other way. I have now a volunteer sat on the seat to explain what I mean. You can see he is leaning on his left fist there. If you were to look at this particular shot in the video, you'll see that the guy is leaning on his right fist, so it's the other side. And if you look at the symbol in the background above the fireplace, also in the video, you will see that that is an exact mirror image of the one that we've got here. So I've set the table out as you saw it, but as I said, I think it's supposed to be a complete mirror image, so it would not have been like that. Here from the throne room, there's two more things I want to show you. Now, I have not made any attempt to make this look nice, but these two doors, so there's definitely a door here in the video which leads out into the courtyard. I've simply made a walkway which leads into the wall opposite, and this walkway is covered. Same with the opposite side here, opens up here to a walkway, and the roof is partially covered. I've added these two doors at the back here because this is exactly where the wall meets the center throne room, and this leads into the wall itself. Now, like I said, I haven't done anything interesting in here, but it's the inside of the wall. I thought I'd leave it open because we plan to use this keep to play the game, so we could do whatever we want in here, and it runs through. This door leads back down that walkway to the throne room. Should probably hinge this door on the other side, but there we go. And it leads right around the wall. Various towers off to the side that we're going to use for workbenches and storage. Leading around the back, there's another tower at the back here. All of the towers, not at this level, but are accessible at the floor level as well. So that makes 3 levels within each of the towers. The very roof, on the roof walkway, this inner walkway within the wall, and accessible from externally, which is on the floor level, ground level. And as we come around here, I haven't done anything to block up the wizard windows anywhere, but I might do that just so it looks like it goes all the way up in a flat surface. And then this door will bring you back into the throne room. Last bit for me to show you is this building right here and the flat area where we've got the hives. Now, the only shot I had of this was a shot from about, I don't know, here, something like this. So it was, I could see the hives, but it was difficult to see if they were actually connected to anything. There may well have been a building behind here that they're connected to, as like a farmer's building or something like that. But obviously I couldn't see it, so I haven't done it. I might add something later. As we're using this place, it'll be nice to have a little building for produce. This building, not much to it. A couple of doors. I put this building here by extending the foundation of this section. I extended the foundation out and down, and then once I placed this foundation here at the front to start from, I deleted them all and built the building. Now, it does cut into the landscape ever so slightly at the back of the building here, but that is not noticeable at all from outside. There's a little fenced area out the front where in the video they keep horses, And in fact, there was another section just here next to the main keep that was also fenced off and used to keep horses. But I've put this stairwell and entry doorway into this tower, so I haven't put the fenced off area there. There's plenty of room around the back, so you never really get to see around the back here, especially up against the keep. So I've no idea if there was anything here, but there's quite a lot of space, so I may end up putting things here if we find we're out of room, like a stable, if we need to rear horses. I don't really want to put an animal pen because they're huge, but maybe one of the smaller animal pens could be used if you want to tame animals. I wanted to show you is how the fortress looks at night. I've lit up all of the towers by putting a hanging brazier inside every single tower that you can see, even the ones going up to the mountaintop keep in the background. And it really does look like a picture at night. I've also put some standing braziers on the walkways. Now, I think it looked better without them. I mean, at night, with just the towers lit up, it looked amazing. And with the braziers now on the walkway, I think there's a little too much light. But as we actually are using this as our home base as we play, we do want to be able to see on the walkways. So I added those braziers. Your choice whether you want to add them or not. They're just simple standing ones. So thank you very much for watching. This is the Nemedian Fortress. We have this on a server. The server is called Deathsheads Domain, and it is a PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 server. If you want to come along and have a look for yourself, feel free. We're going to open it up and remove the password so that people can visit. It is a PvP server. It's a PvE server. PvP is turned off. And I may take some of the doors off of door frames so that you can just explore this fortress as you feel fit, as you see fit. Come and join us. There are a few changes to the settings, like slightly increased XP, slightly increased gathering rates, and have some fun. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Reigns Acadian. Hi, I'm Reigns. In the Nemedian Fortress video, I mentioned I would show you how I stacked the fence foundations. So here I am. I have some Nemedian foundations. I'm just going to put one there. Now, you'll note if you have a fence foundation, it will snap to the any other foundation, or it will go on its own. You can place it like the others. You can raise it and lower it, but it will snap to a fence foundation as long as it's touching the floor. If I place another foundation on top of this one and try to snap a fence foundation to that, it won't let me. Okay, so it's very difficult to put a fence foundation above an existing foundation, but you can get it to work. So how I did this is if I place 3 of them in a line like this, you can, of course, put the fence foundations anywhere along the bottom, which I'll do just to show you like that. Put them along the bottom. Okay, but I don't want them along the bottom, so what I will do is I will take them off, but I'll leave this one on here. And then if I remove the middle foundation, you'll then see that I can snap it above. Because this foundation exists here, but I don't know why, it will let me put it there. It won't let me put it directly above the existing foundation, but it will let me put it there. And then if I can put the foundation back again, I can continue to put it around that object. Okay? So how I did one of the buildings, now you'll see here that if I did that, it's going to leave a hole at the bottom. So how did I solve this particular problem? I think it's a case of removing the foundation. Nope. Is it a case of, I guess if I remove that foundation, those fence foundations are going to fall down. It's a case of removing this foundation. There we go. Because I'm trying to put it on top. And you can't seem to put foundations on top of each other. But what you can do is put foundations beneath. Okay, I didn't do this in the build, but that is how you put foundations beneath each other. And once you've got foundations beneath, you can, of course, remove the original foundation and it will stay up. So that's how I did the first building, where I did actually have a foundation underneath and I didn't have the lowest level fence foundations. I just had the fence foundations sitting on top of an existing on two sides. I need to put, I can't remember how I did this, that's right, we need to put a fence foundation there, and then it will let you, it won't let you put a thing there, and it will let you put one on top, like that. Won't let me put one near, because that's there, so I can get rid of that one, and now it will let me put one there. Okay, and well, I left this foundation because I put some stairs, and I put a doorway. The doorways snap nicely with them, so they look like walls. Okay, so that's how I did the first building. The second building relies a lot on elevation, and I'm going to use this here as an example. So there's quite a lot of elevation here. So if I was to snap a fence, snap a foundation, sorry, I clicked the wrong buttons. I wanted to raise it. So if I put a foundation here, okay, again, I can put a foundation on the outside. I can't put a foundation above. Actually, I can put a foundation above, but not directly above the one I've just put. If I put foundations here, here, and now we get to a point where we're flying. So you need foundations underneath. Okay, so what you can do in this situation is I want to put a foundation above. So you put that one there, and then I can take this one away and put one there. And then I can take this one away. Right, and from this point on, I can put fence foundations next to the existing one, but no further. I can also put them underneath the existing ones. Be careful, there's often two snap points. So put it nice and close. And now suddenly I should... Nope, I can't put one up there. Why can't I put one up there? Is a good question. Well, let's have a look. I could probably put one there, and then I can put one up there, but it's too high. So, what I really want to do is put one on that corner. Oh, well now it's letting me put one there because I've removed that foundation. Go figure. Put that there, put that foundation back. I can now put one not... Oh, I can put one on top. Put one there, and now I can put one underneath. I can put one underneath there. I can't put one up there. So let's remove this foundation. I can now put one there. If I put one there, I can't put one above it because it leaves the gap underneath, which I desperately don't want. I can now put it above. Okay. So what I think is happening, it's hard because of the sun, is I can't put one there. In the process of moving all the blocks, I'm changing item. If I actually just change to a block and change back, I can do it. Change to a block and change black, I can do it. I can place that there. I can't place one there. What happens if I change to a block and change back? Yeah, I can put it there. I can put it there. I can put it there. So now I've got a wall of fence foundations. And because fence foundations are foundations in their own right, they support, I can then get rid of all the original foundations and the fence foundations will stay up. I won't be able to extend them though. It is quite important to have foundation blocks to extend them that height anyway. You see I can't put anything up there. I can do the bottom one because it's touching the floor, but without the foundation blocks themselves, I can't place anymore. And that is how you can place fence foundations so that they look like walls. It takes a little bit of messing around, but it is completely possible. And that's how I did it in the Nemedian Fortress build. Thank you.